This is Duke University.
I was really provoked and moved by what happened this summer in Charleston, South Carolina, the massacre there. When that happened, I thought, well, this is another church massacre like the church bombing that happened in Alabama, and it's my generation now, it's our turn to respond to this, to react to it. When faced with hostility and ignorance, I think the best weapon is intelligence and beauty. So I have intelligent, beautiful women. The piece is about movement. There's a lot of movement. Some of it is abstract. Some of it is, there'll be gestures and things that people will be familiar with. But then there's a soundtrack, the layering of two eulogies. Obama's eulogy for the South Carolina massacre and Martin Luther King's eulogy for the Alabama massacre. And then there's the music Amazing Grace. The song just provokes something about our humanity. The dancers are really biting into it, and I think all the disparate entities are going to come together and make something that people will respond to in their own way. I'm not asking for anything more. Ready, and go. First group, second group.
A figure is that which is contained by some boundaries.
I'm just interested in the underlying structures of ballet, how they relate to the development of ideas in Western culture, and this idea of sort of, you know, human beings being rational beings, this sort of classical idea of the rational human within the context of ballet, which also was created in a way to be a way of rationalizing the body in dance.
My point is, I waited in line forever. What was your angle? And when the lines containing the angle are straight, then the angle is called rectilinear.
The text I've chosen is Euclid's Elements. I was very intrigued by this particular text because it creates this abstract universe of geometry, of mathematics, out of nothing. It's also, because it's geometry, it's very spatial, so it suggests movement, spatial qualities. It's a challenge, but it's an interesting challenge because it gets me away from sort of my natural tendencies in choreography. It allows the students, the dancers, to have more ownership over the work.
We're playing with ideas of being in the moment and being present in this journey of life. Being in more the director's role and learning how to communicate ideas and help the dancers understand the movement qualities that I'm interested in. And it's been definitely not the easiest process, but I've learned so much through it.
And I've always wanted to choreograph a solo for myself, but I feel like I don't have anything to say. So this year I feel like I finally have a grasp on like an idea and like a movement concept. I think it forces you to be super honest about everything you're doing. What you like, what you don't like, your aesthetic like preferences. It's very hard.
Yeah.
I will be sharing more or less my struggle with body image through dance. The issue of mental health is very prevalent at Duke, and I sort of want to give a voice not just to myself but to the people around me, people I know and people I don't know as well who are struggling with different issues. And I feel like dance is a way to voice these feelings and these emotions and just to come into awareness.
This piece in particular started off kind of as like an investigation of the sexualization of the female body, and now has sort of moved on to take on a whole other many layers of meaning and kind of has its own life. Specifically interested in social activism and social justice in dance, and how movement and the body is a radical embodiment in action. So that is something that I see as incredibly lacking in this community, and is something that has just so much potential that like I can't not do it.
So this piece was inspired specifically from the music. It's based on a kind of a traditional piece of music. It comes from Kenya. I think the group is the Dowell people. The lyrics loosely translate to "The rain is coming." What could that possibly mean? The rain is coming, and it has for each of the dancers, for each of us anyway, it may have a very different idea. And so it's the work itself is very much about revering the earth and then our connections as inhabitants of the space, and then how we choose to respect the space. And so for a large part, I feel like it draws you in from the very first note that's played.
This is called Alegrias, which is a happy dance, a powerful and happy dance, and my feeling was for beginning students that this would be a very good thing to be able to ingest and get out. The inspiration this is flamenco, and flamenco has lots of different dances with lots of different emotions about it. The process has been a little bit difficult in the sense that I have beginning students. Flamenco is a very complicated art form. It's not just the movement of the body, but one has to learn the rhythms. The rhythms are Eastern influence. There are like 12 beats to a measure. So that's something that my students are not used to working with. So in that sense, it's been a little bit of a challenge. I think they've all got it at this point, which is very exciting. One of the important things about flamenco is the expression and getting out what you're feeling. So it's not just the movement, but it's like, here I am, and this is what I'm doing. I think that the students have responded to the challenge and risen to the challenge.